Oh man, how's everybody doing? That's crazy. I was gonna say I started to do script for a new video today. What I've been doing is I've been working on multiple scripts, right? And a lot of the scripts that I am currently like in the process of working on are ones that I just started because I'm like, these are decent video ideas. So like I'll just start those and then I'll write them like, you know, little by little. But every once in a while, I'll just like randomly get a really good idea for a video, or there's something that I've been thinking about at length for a while, and I'm like, you know what? We need to write about this. We need to make this into a video. So it doesn't happen often, where I'll like interrupt all my other script writing, but when I do, it's usually for something like that, right? That's just like something I've been thinking about a lot, or you know, that I'm really excited about, etc., etc. So this new script I'm working on is it's one of those, right? It's been something that's on my mind a lot lately, so I'm really excited to talk about that one. It's funny because I was working on another script that was something that was on my mind, so it's just funny how like this superseded that one. But yeah, I'm super excited to show you guys some of the new videos here in the future. I think there's going to be I don't want to say a tonal shift because it's definitely not a tonal shift, but there's definitely going to be a shift in the type of content on my YouTube channel. There's still going to be a lot of like the stream snips and edits and clips. Like there's definitely going to be that, right? That's not going anywhere because it's just like a lot of it's easy, good content that makes sense because it gives you a view of what I do. But then there's also like a lot of my videos have been geared towards, okay, how do I improve at X? So usually it's like with a fighting game analogy, right? Where I'll like use fighting game as an example, but it's like these are also things you could apply to your real life, other games, etc., etc. But I think the shift is going to start being towards you know, some like, hey, how do I be better stuff, but also just like general creative stuff, like just random stories and such, because that's ultimately what I want to do to some extent. I don't know, I'm excited for the future of the channel. I've been workshopping a lot of stuff, seeing what works and what doesn't. I feel like there's a huge barrier as far as some of the content I want to do with my voice, right? Because I don't think my voice is capable of portraying certain things super well. Humor is one of them. I don't exactly have like a really deep or really expressive voice, so I have to be mindful of that when making content and scripts as well. Not just the way that I say things or the cadence, but also just the content. And I think that's really important. Just like keeping in mind not what your limitations are, but where your strengths are and what you can lean into. I really want to start doing more of not like necessarily just like single player content games, but I don't want to just be somebody who only plays like games as a service type games or competitive games and that's it, even though that's how I kind of got my start. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, I have fun with those games, but when those games don't work, I don't have fun. Whereas like if I just boot up a single player game to have fun, shit's just popping. And what made me think about that was, I don't know if you guys remember at all, but we did a playthrough of Helltaker, right? Now that Helltaker playthrough was phenomenal. Granted, the game is really good, right? So a lot of that was kind of carried by the game itself. But I was thinking about it with Locked too, because we just played Locked yesterday before, I don't know, we just played Locked, and that was only like a 15-minute experience. But I thought about it, I was like, I genuinely had more fun with these two types of games that I normally wouldn't play at all, let alone on stream, than I have with some other games. The only other games where I've had like similar levels of fun consistently were, what's up Nin, were when I played The Outer Worlds as a single player thing, which I have to continue. When I've played fighting games, some of them, not all of them. I didn't have any fun really with Street Fighter 5. I had some fun with 6 though, I gotta be completely fair. But like a lot of the experiences were single player games that I had a ton of fun with, and I thought that was interesting because in my mind when I started streaming, I didn't really play a lot of single player games. I played a lot of like Siege, I played a lot of fighting games like Guilty Gear, yeah, Siege. See, here's the thing with Siege though. Siege is fun only when I'm playing with other people. I don't have as nearly as much fun streaming that solo. Now, if I'm playing the video game solo on my own time, then I'm having fun, okay? But if I'm streaming it solo, I'm still having fun, but it's not the same level of fun. I feel like the mindset of going into Siege solo on stream is different than when I'm playing for myself. If I'm playing for myself, I'm going just to kind of fuck off, basically. But if I'm playing on stream, I feel like I have to entertain with the game and myself. Whereas when I'm playing a single player game, when I'm playing my gacha games or whatever, I feel like I'm just entertaining with myself. I feel like I'm the entertainment. I don't feel like it has to be the game. But I feel like there's an expectation with fighting games, with Valorant, with Siege, that I put on myself where I have to perform to a certain level. And because I feel like I have to perform to a certain level, that takes away from my ability or my mental stack to also perform as an entertainer or as a streamer. And I have a hard time balancing both, which is like super problematic. And it's something I've talked about with fighting game streamers in the past, where I'll show up to a fighting game streamer's channel and I'm like, sick, let's watch what so-and-so's doing. And it's just like, bro, they're so boring. Like, they could be really good at the game, but there's just dead silence for a minute straight. And I know some people like that, but as a viewer, I don't really like that. Having someone to bounce off helps when streaming versus just goofing offline. See, and I have mixed feelings about this too. I've done a few streams where I've had people in Discord chat, or I featured somebody else and I was streaming quote unquote with them in a way, like a collab, right? But here's my take on that. So as a viewer, I'll give you my take as a viewer, and then I'll give you my take as a streamer, as the one that's doing it. As a viewer, when there's collabs, unless I'm super hardcore into both of those streamers, I don't like collabs at all. If I'm showing up to a streamer's stream, I want to watch them. I'm not really necessarily there for the game they're playing. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of streamers that I found have been because of the game they're playing. Right? That's generally how it works. Oh, I'm interested in this game. The streamer streams this game. I saw them. Okay, that's cool. I know a lot of people find their streamers from like funny moments and clips on TikTok and shit. I don't generally do that. That's happened to me once. As far as when they collab, I kind of lose interest because it feels like they're more focused on, when you collab, you kind of lose ability to interact with chat, right? You kind of lose that. So it feels like they're stretched thin, if that makes sense. Now, I don't suffer from that as much because I'm not a huge streamer and my chat's not going crazy all the time, so I don't have to worry about it as much when I collab. But if I were me coming into my own streams and for some reason I liked watching my own streams, which I don't, but let's say that I did, and I was collabing with somebody, I'd be more apt to click off than to stay for a large duration or a duration of my stream during a collab stream than any other time. If my favorite streamer was streaming a game I don't like, but it was just them, I'd be more apt to stay for that stream. Now, as a streamer, I both like and dislike collabs. So here's my 2 cents. I like collabs because of exactly what you said. It helps keep the conversation going. It can breathe new life into the stream where like you get a different personality. So, you got that banter, you got that different take on stuff. And I think that's cool. But what I don't like is, and this is why I haven't collabed with many people, what I don't like is you don't always know who you got, right? Because you get a lot of these streamers, not a lot, but a good amount, that because of their company they've worked for or because they're trying to grow, whatever, they'll just stream with randoms they don't really know. So even if they banter well, you don't know what you're getting into as far as like what you value, what you're trying to do on stream, etc, etc, etc. So for me, that's a sticking point I'm not super excited about. But like Mark Shuckleberg, who's one of my mods, is also one of my IRL friends, and I do not mind, most of the time streaming with him because I like him and I think he's funny and I think he provides a very different personality than I do, so it makes sense. But again, it also takes away from the experience for the viewer. So I don't know. That's just kind of like my preliminary thoughts on the whole thing. But realistically, like in the future, as far as like what we're going to be streaming, I think it's going to shake up quite a bit. I'm still going to play fighting games. I'm still going to play shooting games. But I think the quantity of what we're doing that is going to be not every day. I think at this point, like I was thinking about, like I could make a schedule like I was trying to do, but at this point, I'm better off not doing that because I don't know where I'm going to be at one day or the next, especially with the way things are at the house. So it is what it is.